100 years ago, if you wanted to go farming in Canada, you needed a sharp axe, a plow, and a team of horses, and of course, a growing family, and you would have been recorded in history as a pioneer. Well, some of that pioneering spirit still lingers. There are Canadians today who've gone back to the wilderness, families with the kind of courage it takes to turn your backs on salary checks and superhighways, and families with the same kind of spirit as those who opened this land of ours and cleared the wooded hills of eastern Canada and broke the great plains of the West, 50, 60 years ago. Well, there's still land available if you have the urge to be a pioneer. And I'd like to tell you the story of John and Catherine Doell and their 5 children, who settled on 2 square miles of untouched bushland about 50 miles north of Fort St. John in the Peace River district of British Columbia. In a steady rain, they pitched a tent on their land in July of 1963. For 2 straight weeks, it rained. Once it had seemed that the frontier offered a life of freedom and opportunity. But the day they actually loaded their ancient truck in Saskatoon and headed north, questions began to crowd in on them. And now, this. A man could be pardoned for wondering what he'd got his family into. Mighty Peace River. To the north, in British Columbia and Alberta, lies the largest area of undeveloped farmland in Canada. About 1.5 million acres of it is in BC. About 1/6 of this potential cropland has seen the plow, and much of this has been broken since 1958. For it was then that the arrival of the Pacific Great Eastern Railway opened up profitable markets for the produce of the north, in the Fraser Valley and in Vancouver. A land rush began, and within a few years, most of the reasonably accessible farmland was taken up. The sound of the caterpillar cutting the brush and piling it for burning was the sound that meant new land for farming, and new lives for the people who were moving in from the south. Some were farmers who'd sold their land in places where there was no room for expansion. Some were speculating in land or planning great corporate farming operations. Others were from the cities of Canada and the United States, looking for a new life free of the pressures and sometimes questionable values of modern life. It was here that the Doell family cast its lot, based on hope, determination, and not much else. They bought their government land for about $3.50 an acre and borrowed money to clear it. 3 years later, they built a home, and 300 acres were broken by the plow.
I was not a wealthy man, so I got myself a farm and I did what I could. So I got myself a farm, called my farm the muscle in my arm, but the land was sweet and good and I did what I could. I did what I could.
Born and raised on a farm, you might say, and went out working because there wasn't enough work for me on the farm. Oh, I was in the sheet metal trade, heating and ventilating, air conditioning, back in Saskatoon, but I didn't think that that was the vocation for me. Well, it drifted on from there that I lived there and got married there and raised my family partly there.
At first it looked a little bit hopeless, but after I seen the equipment moving on, it was something else. It changed my mind entirely.
Come on, Doug.
You boys, you jump over there and light it from the other side, okay?
Be careful how you
Be careful. Come on back now.
We quite often not too often, but we get the whole works out of there, out on the field, and it's kind of a picnic at a start, but it wears off pretty soon too, you know. Them little fellas, they catch on pretty soon.
Well, it didn't burn very good, did it? No, it sure didn't. Watch your hands, don't burn yourself. I'm just going to see what John is doing over there in the cat, okay?
Okay. Okay.
I'll go over there.
Yeah, I can go.
Big machines are the key to modern pioneering in the north. If the farm is to pay, a lot of land must be cleared quickly. It's usually borrowed money that pays the contractor, and if he's good, if his caterpillar cuts clean and piles well, the land will be producing crops sooner and at less cost.
Hi, John. How's things going?
Not too bad.
How are the low spots? Pretty good?
Oh, they're fair for this time of the year.
How many more hours will you be on this?
Oh, another 30, 40 hours.
And do you think we could start breaking after that?
Oh, I think so. Oh, yeah.
Good. Well, I won't keep you any longer, John.
Okay.
The land itself is not so expensive, but the clearing and the breaking and the working down, to get it into shape to where it produces money, it's quite costly. I would say on the average it's about, let's say $30, $40 an acre.
The children aren't idle. They have something to do constantly. They learn something new every day. They don't have to wait for somebody else to pop in and get them to do things.
Boy, are the leaves ever falling down? Boy, are they ever. You're lost in me. What? You're lost in me. Yeah. Someday we should take a picture for it. So beautiful. Yeah. We should build a log fort here. Nah, that'd be no good. Yeah, that'd be real good. Looks kind of sad. Might be. I'll try out again. I'm not getting wrong. What? Look at this. Yep, that one went real far. Oh, this one should be a nice one. Flash. Oh boy. That one right up on the bank. There's not enough stones around here, that's it. That was a terrible one. Can't find very good ones. Some of them work.
Jack, it's Jim and Irene.
Okay.
Well, hi there.
Hi.
How are you doing?
How you doing, Jack? Where
Hi,
you been?
Jim. How are you?
Oh, pretty fair.
How's the road?
Oh, terrible,
Is it?
Yeah. Well, you know, I think we're going to have to check that new MLA out and see.
You
what
think so?
Yes,
Well,
sir.
you start combining
It's
yet?
pretty bad.
Yes, I haven't. Oh, I don't doubt that. What did you do with the kids?
Well, they're staying at Bevan Fells.
Is that right?
Yeah, well, we'll be in the same boat when Beverly finishes grade 7. Next year she'll probably be in the dorm.
Well, should we go in for a...
This is a community where majority of the people are starting out and very helpful in every way possible. They come and see how you're doing, and if you had any trouble, we're always right there. I wouldn't be farming here if it wasn't for the neighbors.
Beverly, would you help me with the dishes? Donald and Bonnie, get to your homework.
Yeah.
Brenda and Douglas, straight off to bed, okay?
Could I see that bill again?
So, Ross McLean?
No. You know, with all the clearing we did this year, you know, I think that if the total adds up pretty good, I think we should get that FCC loan, really go to work in this place. Let me see that other one, too. The previous month. I haven't quite... No, I should have the other one here. There is definitely a good year or two before you won't have any returns at all, and then they're very small. But after 4 years that I've been up here now it's getting to the point where the land is paid off. I got 300 acres cleared and in production, and so this makes it look a little better.
I left the pump running. You leave it run for about an hour, and I think that would be lots of water.
All right. You better hurry up, Donald, or you'll be late.
Donald, hurry up, we're gonna be late. Okay.
You have to learn how to get along without running water and doctors and things like that. At first, mind you, when we came here, and the water was quite yellow color and sort of muddy, I guess we should say. I was more or less in tears to see my wash.
Time is limited too. It's acres that you clear and get into production that make you money. And if you don't, if you're broke down and you're not